Welcome to the Ringside Podcast. I'm Daniel Spencer.
I'm Jeremy Warman.
And I'm Linda Kay.
All right, guys. We got Eric had to sit out this week, but he is back in the intro. Thank you, AJ McKay, for giving us that and helping us put Eric back in the intro. It felt nice to hear his name. Now we've got like this, I think this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, but in our this is our seventh season, so in our 6 years, I think we've always only had three names being shared the entire time, even though we had a Ricky Chevy at the beginning, and we had all these other people that was coming in. Um, this literally was the first time that all four names have been said in an intro now, and we have four hosts, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because it was me, you, and JK at first, then me, you, and Eric,
Mm-hmm.
then me, you, and Linda, and now it's all of us. We're all together.
Yeah,
The
great crew.
dream team.
Even when we had like for a hot minute, we had the Fire and Ice Girls. Which they're still like, well, one of them is still a part of us if we wanted to correspondence or whatever. But um, although she ain't done nothing in like 3 years, so I guess not. But even then, we still didn't intro them at all. So that's pretty cool. So again, shout out to AJ McKay. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Reach out to ajmckcreative.com. I think that's his website. If not, it'll be in the show notes on the YouTube and the show notes on the audio version. By the way, if you're watching this on the YouTube, you see scroll across every so often. You're going to see Wrestlers premieres September 13th on Netflix. Don't miss out on that. It's going to be a phenomenal show. Um, Linda and I, including Eric, is part of it, and Jeremy might be in the crowd at some point. I don't know. I can't remember if you were there any of those shows that were filming. I think you were. I think you were there at least once or twice when they're running around with those cameras.
Hey, our banner's in the background, so that's all that matters to me. I think I've had enough shine over my career. Let's just let the banner get some shine. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll see the Ringside Podcast banner, which had the old Twitter logo, which is now the X, but you've seen actually, and we put out our new logos out there. Well, not really. Our logo didn't change, but we added our follow, so you can see it wherever we're at. Just give us. By the way, we'll go ahead and plug that. We'll plug it in the show, but give us a shout out, give us a follow at Ringside Podcast on the Twitter X, on the YouTube, on Facebook, on Threads, on there you go. Thanks, Jeremy. On Threads, on Instagram, and then if you want to follow us on the TikTok, it's at the Ringside Podcast. Hopefully, we can get that Ringside Podcast handle there too. We're working on that, but um, yeah. So check us out. Thanks, and if you're listening to it, watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button now, so you always get us, because you never know not only when a new episode is going to air, but when we might go live. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is coming. It is coming soon. This is not something that we're saying that it's coming, and then 3 years later it doesn't, like the video version. No, we're literally going to go live here soon. So be on the lookout for that. And me and Jeremy has popped in live from time to time already to test things out. So you just never know. But we'll probably make a big announcement. I think I already know who I want our first live guest to be. Um, and might have something to do with September 13th. That's all I'm going to say. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've already kind of talked to them about it, and you're right. Like, who's that? What is that? Well, that's called a teaser, folks. It's called a teaser for a reason. Stay tuned for that. Um, but guys, there's been a huge weekend of wrestling. We talked about it leading up to this weekend. We had Smackdown um, here in Louisville. Shout out to Jeremy and representing Ringside Podcast there with, and my family was with him and stuff like that. So shout out to them. But I do want to say that we can't go any further. The SmackDown Louisville was not the original planned show, but I think it was a phenomenal show they put on. Last week, yeah, we had a great weekend of wrestling, but we had a hard week leading up to it, as the wrestling community lost two very, very important people within the community. One is in Terry Funk, and then one is in Bray Wyatt. So I it's I've never got them. I was not fortunate enough to meet either one of them, but I know so many that are friends with both of them. And I've enjoyed. They've entertained me so much. Bray's one of those that at the beginning, you listen to the beginning of the show, I was not a fan of, but he won me over the years, and his creativity and everything. So, and then Terry Funk is just someone that just always. My favorite thing about Terry Funk was that he's in Roadhouse. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I love him in Roadhouse. Um, and we also lost Bob Barker, who was once a co-host of or general was it co-host of Raw or whatever, or hosted Raw.
Celebrity host, yeah.
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 And Bob Barker was someone I grew up watching as well. So it's been a crazy week for sure. And I think it was nice to have some good wrestling shows this weekend to kind of get our minds off of everything, um, and pay respects to our friends, colleagues, um, and someone that's entertained us. So, um, before we go any further, guys, do you all have any kind of Terry Funk, Bray Wyatt comment stories you want to share? That you want to kind of put out there.
Ladies first, of course.
Thanks, Jeremy. But yeah, it was a rough week. Hearing about those, some more shocking than others, but just the memories. I mean, what Terry Funk has contributed, and what I think about with him and Mankind, Mick Foley, Mankind. Just when I was growing up watching all of that, oh, it's just some amazing moments there. And then, of course, with Bray Wyatt, my biggest memory was seeing the biggest showcase of Fireflies at WrestleMania, with the band playing his music out and just feeling all of that. And that definitely was a shocker when I heard the news. And of course, Smackdown, and Raw paying their respects. But yeah, that was really tough. And you just kind of, seeing the montages, everything that Bray Wyatt has brought to entertain us these past couple years, all the different characters and all the different storylines. Really hard to take in, but yeah, obviously we saw a lot of people sharing how they felt. So that was a tough one. And then Bob Barker, that memory, him and Chris Jericho, that one was very entertaining. So I guess I'll end that on a kind of lighter note there. But yeah, definitely a tough week. But obviously everyone's paying their respects, and a lot of wrestling throughout paying their respects as well.
Then you can attest to this. I've always been a huge Bray Wyatt fan. I've long thought he was one of the most creative. I would say probably the most creative mind in wrestling behind Vince. Maybe even more so in the last 20 years. When I heard the news, it hit me harder than I thought it was going to hit me, because I mean, to me he's a kid. He's 10 years younger than me. I watched him from when he legitimately was a kid coming up in the business, going through all the stuff I went through at the beginning of the year. I almost died 3 or 4 times, and thankfully the Lord had mercy on me. I feel for his wife. I feel for his kids. I can't imagine what they're going through now. I can't pick a favorite Bray thing, because everything's been my favorite Bray thing from the beginning, from his NXT run to him returning at Extreme Rules to the promo he cut the last time he was on TV before he got COVID and got sick. It's all been my favorite thing. And to know that they were gearing up for his return, like the rumors, and I can't confirm this, but vignettes were supposed to start playing at our Smackdown in Louisville for his return, maybe with the return of Payback or a little bit later. I don't know when they were planning on returning him or not, but just that we'll never get to see his creative genius again, and we'll never get to see what they had coming. I was so excited for his return, but the Lord had other plans for him, and for that I have to ultimately respect that. But much love to his family. I can't even imagine what his kids are going through. All the tributes, like you said, Linda, have been fantastic. From Seth coming out with the World Heavyweight Championship Monday night with the Fiend side plates, to Becky's little promo she cut after Raw last night that surfaced, to hearing that Roman Reigns immediately drove the blue Universal Championship straight to JoJo's house and gave it to her. Just how much he was loved by everybody. Watching Gallows and Anderson's tribute on YouTube. I could go on and on. That's how important this man was to wrestling. He cared about wrestling. Um, the quote, what something about wrestling is not a sport, it's a love story, or something along those lines. That's how he approached it. That's how he felt. I even thought it was classy for the AEW guys to do so many tributes as they did. Their tributes were almost as good as the pay-per-view, but we'll leave that for later. Um, just I could go on. We could do a 2-hour show on Bray Wyatt. That's how much love and respect that man's got. Terry Funk, guy I watched growing up, fight Ric Flair in the NWA, and he turned into Chainsaw Charlie in WWE and fought alongside Mick Foley against DX. Such an entertaining guy. You hate for loss of life to happen on any level to anybody, whether they were a great wrestler or not. I'm not just saying these two deserve to be celebrated because they were great wrestlers. They were great human beings. And then Bob Barker, leave it up to him to get to as close to $100 without going over. That guy has been entertaining. He was entertaining in movies. The Happy Gilmore exchange is one that comes to my mind the most. I believe it was Santino Marella. They were doing a game show. They were doing The Price is Right on Raw when he was the celebrity guest manager, celebrity GM, and Santino had said something along the lines.
You just shared a picture there if you want to show that. There you go.
It just went straight to that instead. I'm fine with that. Santino said, I'd like to buy a Val. And he said, this ain't the Will of Fortune. This Price is Right or something. Just the entertaining. He knew how to entertain the masses. He knew what he was doing. All of them, great losses, great people. And I pray for their families. And I hate that this has happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A Bob Barker note too is one of the things that Bob Barker did was he had Chris Jericho brought him on his podcast a few years ago. So go search that. I don't know if Jericho's reshared it or not. Sometimes Jericho will repost those links, but go back and listen to it because he had him on his podcast, and it was funny. Was Bob Barker was talking about doing WWE, and in the middle of the podcast, Bob Barker was talking about how great this one wrestler was, and then he realized that the guy interviewing him was Chris, and like it was a cool little moment, and he was like, "No, wait, that was you." Like it's one of those things. Like Bob Barker didn't know WWE, didn't know wrestling or whatever. But the fact that whoever set up this interview with him or whatever, and then he realized who he was. It was just a cool moment to have that. Like I said, a few years ago back, it's a great podcast to listen to because Bob Barker talks about how his whole career and stuff like that, which is really really cool, really interesting. Something I never knew, but yeah. By the way, shout out to and those of you that are How I Met Your Mother fans, Barney Stinson. I hope you're doing okay. So I know that was your Barney Stinson claims that Bob Barker was his dad. So I had to go out there. That's for my buddies that love How I Met Your Mother. They were like, they sent me so many memes of that, and I figured I'll say that to make them laugh and pop because during these times of sadness, sometimes you need a little laughter. Yeah, man, and back to Bray. What was cool about bringing in Braun Strowman? They brought in Eric Rowan. On the Indies as Eric Redbeard, but they brought Eric Redbeard. Sorry, they brought in Eric Rowan for that. I thought that was really special. With that rocking chair, and then the fact that a lot of the talent and production staff went out after the SmackDown show to a local tattoo shop in the Louisville, Southern Indiana area and got Bray Wyatt symbol tattoos on, and that was pretty cool. So and I'm sure others will end up eventually doing it. It's just that there's a crew that wanted to get it done right there, and then others will do it down the line. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Um, that they did that. They paid respects to their friend, and I know there was talk said in the Impact locker room this weekend about Bray, Windham, and they were talking about some other was going to pretty much do the same thing. I know a couple of them were really close to him, and they had kind of had a rough weekend as well. So again, thoughts and prayers to everyone out there. We didn't talk much about the Funkers much, but um, thoughts and prayers are with his family, his friends, his close loved ones, his fans, even diehard fans of his, um, Bray's family, and then of course Bob Barker and his family on that. So, all right, I wanted to get that out of the
really quickly. That
yeah.
was one of being there in person and the view that we had. That was one of the most awesome spectacles. And shout out to our girl, Cher Delaware. She was in the crowd. I spotted her in the crowd. I texted her, asked her if it was her. She didn't write me back till yesterday and then confirmed. But shout out to her. I know that she's a fan of the show and she listens. But what a spectacle it was. It sent chills down my spine. The hairs on my arm were raised. I had no words. I sat there in silence with my jaw dropped. I hate that it's one of those, it absolutely was history. It was a historic Smackdown in Louisville, Kentucky. And we always talk about how historic the city of Louisville is. I hate that it had to be because of something this sad, but to see everybody come together and everybody celebrate him, like you said, from Braun to Triple H to Eric Rowan. Bobby Roode was on the stage. We've not seen him in a while. Countless production, just and had let's just be honest. Had AEW not been in England, a couple of those figures that were really close to him would have been welcomed. I'm certain, like Amanda Huber and her son would have been welcome to the show. I feel. I mean, I can't confirm that, but when there's death, you forget about all the silly stuff and you just let it be. But I am so grateful and thankful I was able to be there in the Yum Center Friday night to witness that. The crowd was electric all night. That was because of Bray. They say that, when you go to them live, they're better than on TV anyway, and normally that's true. But from what I've seen, this came across the same way on TV that it was in the arena. Just amazing. Like I said, thankful I was able to be there. Thankful I had the vantage point. I posted a picture on Twitter of all the fireflies. It was amazing. It was just amazing.
And that reminds me, and I do want to publicly say, I know, as I mentioned before, my family was there. Jeremy, you invited them to them to your area, and there was not a there originally it's a SmackDown, so there was my daughter didn't get to see her favorite wrestler right now on TV is Cody Rhodes, but because of the circumstances, he was there, and being able to see her talk about seeing Cody in person and seeing videos of her just crying and cheering and like it's been a long time since I've seen her do that. I mean, she's done it with AJ Styles, she's done it with John Cena in the past and Becky Lynch and other ones, but it's been a while since I've seen her, because usually when she go to wrestling shows now, I'm working and she's in the crowd. So to be able to see that again. So thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate you allowing me to have that moment, allowing her to have that moment too as well. So
not a problem. She thought I was pulling her leg. We actually saw Cody walk in. We were eating. We had dinner before the show, way earlier than I'm used to. But we wanted to make sure we had a good spot at Bear Nose by the bridge down there. And we actually saw Cody walk in. So when she came into the suite, I said, "Your boy's here." And she's like, "Stop playing." And she was just wound up the whole night until they finally announced that that he was gonna be there. She lost it. She lost her mind. So I'm just glad she was at that.
Well, what was cool was that they do dark matches after SmackDown. So like, I guess he wrestled afterwards. So like, not only did she get to see him come out and do a speech for Terry Funk, but then He ended up wrestling too, so that was pretty cool. Which was
He ended up wrestling in the dark match. Then he did like a 15-minute promo about the city of Louisville and 4400 Shepherdsville Road and
yeah,
all.
I heard about that. OVW, some OVW chants went out, so hopefully those people show up.
It was pretty
4400
cool.
Shepherdsville Road
It was
this
pretty
Thursday
cool.
night. Awesome. So, by the way, yes, OVW, we are the official podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW. So come check us out at 4400 Shepherdsville Road this Thursday as we're leading up to Hard Reset on September the 9th. And Linda, you know a little bit more, you know some more about, you'll be there on September 9th, won't you?
Yeah, I'll actually be in this week as well.
Oh, look at that.
And next week for TV and for Hard Reset too. So definitely looking forward to that. We know we have the huge tag team championship match announced. More to come, everyone. Tune in to OVW on Fight TV, or of course, if you can make it to Davis Arena, as well as local programming throughout.
Well, some interesting things with the faction because now one of the members of the
Yes.
faction from this weekend just became the new NWA heavyweight champion, and he's going to be there as well with his title at Hard Reset for sure. Now I don't know about this week and I don't know about next week, but you never know when he's going to show up. That is the one and only EC3. So so shout out to him. Congratulations to EC3 on doing that. Actually, I haven't really, I was doing my own involved in own spectacle at Impact with Emergence, and we'll talk about that. But I understand like almost every title changed hands at the NWA, the world title and as well as the women's title. Camille's no longer the champion.
Kenzie.
Really?
Kinsey, yeah, Kinsey Page, is that her name? Kinsey. Yeah, she beat Camille, and then Camille talked about she's just not sure what she's doing now. Like, is she done with NWA? Things like that. So there's some interesting stuff there. I do know Camille is going to be a part of the movie that's coming out sometime next year, Queen of the Ring. But that's about all I know in her future coming up. So other than that, I'm curious to see where Camille's heading down the road, and that's pretty pretty wild thing. But yeah, there's a lot of hands. I guess Tyrus now has to retire from pro wrestling. Is that the way I understand? Since he lost a match. Yeah, so there's that. So yeah, it's big moments at Emergence. You see two announcements were made as the return of Jordan Grace at Victory Road in White Plains, New York. It's September the 8th. So Jordan Grace is coming back, and then we have an announcement for Bound for Glory as the one and only Will Ospreay is coming back to Impact Wrestling. He's going to be at Bound for Glory in Chicago, October 21st, and you just saw him go one-on-one with one of the arguably the greatest of all time, or one of the GOATs, one of the best ever, Chris Jericho in London, Wembley Stadium, and All In, a record-setting All In, over 90,000 people in attendance. I guess 80,000 paid or whatever they're saying. So pretty amazing. We've got a lot to talk about. We've kind of been all over the place, but we had to start the show paying our respects to Terry, Windham, and Bob. But now we're let's talk a little wrestling. So Parker's Barney's dad. Yes, he is. I believe he is. I believe he is. So funny. All right. Let's let's talk a little bit about. Did you all watch All In?
Yeah.
Linda?
I was on the road a lot this weekend.
It's
so
okay.
I did, of course, catch the highlights. So
well,
that's proceed.
The good thing about All In being at noon on Eastern time, and Toronto is also on Eastern time, was where I was this weekend. Darren, we was able to the show was airing. Some people had it showing on their computers and iPads and whatnot, so we were keeping up with what was going on. But I didn't get to watch too much of it myself. I just knew of the stats, and I'm still just got in, so I'm still haven't sit down and watch everything. So I plan on watching it soon just to see. But you have a new women's, AEW women's champion in Saraya. She won in her hometown. That was pretty freaking amazing, and it's well deserved, and pretty awesome there. You had Will Ospreay beat Jericho. You also, to start the show, the 0 hour, you had MJF and Adam Cole become the new AEW Tag Team Champions. It's time to bring back the pipe bomb. Oh boy,
These are real tweets that are
With
coming through,
ROH
by the way, in real time.
what's that?
I said these are real tweets that are coming through. I'm just typing them into the computer. Real time tweets coming from our fans at Ringside Podcast.
Okay, are these are fans saying these things?
Yeah, I didn't want to reveal their identities because
no, well, eventually, the goal is when we go live, they'll be able to quote your tweet itself up there. So you're more than welcome to say who they are. I don't care. But yeah. So time to bring back the pipe bomb. We haven't done the pipe bomb in a while. Segment, and it's been a while. We used to do segments, and I guess we need to kind of bring the pipe bomb segment back. But
I think I'm going to kind of bring it back tonight because I'm a little aggravated about all this stuff. But I'm going to let y'all get all the pleasantries and stuff out of the way about All In, and then I'm going to go.
Okay. Well, when it's time for you, we'll do a pipe bomb, and I don't have the I have the music, but I don't know if I play it. I can hear it, but on the video version won't play. But I'll add it into the audio version. That we haven't played that pipe bomb, and I'll let you just have at it, Jeremy, in just a minute. So we'll talk about that. So, but yeah, so we've got the we've got that the pipe bomb. Well, the pipe bomb that happened was that the real world's champion did beat Samoa Joe, and then afterwards, I guess he was this Guns N' Roses "Welcome to the Jungle" was playing. I'm not sure. And then later on, there's some other stuff that happened there, but Jack Perry lost the FTW championship. And then you've got I'm going out of order here, but then the trios title. When there are trios titles that happen as well.
The House of Black versus the Acclaimed.
Yes, and who was victorious there, Jeremy?
The Pink guys. Everybody doesn't love the Acclaimed. Everybody does not love the Acclaimed.
I was going to say, don't you? Okay.
Everybody would be everybody. I do not love the Acclaimed. I'm with MJF. MJF doesn't love the Acclaimed. He's very vocal on Twitter about them. So
they love him though.
Us too. Not everybody loves the Acclaimed.
They love him though.
Oh, yes, they do. They do.
All right. And then MJF retains the AEW World Championship and is still your AEW World Champion as we're leading into All Out. There's probably other things I missed out on because what's that?
FTR Young Bucks.
Yes, FTR Young Bucks.
Stadium Stampede.
The casket match.
There was so much. There really was.
Yeah, it was so much.
Spectacle.
So before we,
so many jobbers on the card, it was ridiculous. Go ahead.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we transition? Because I know I can see Jeremy's turning red. Like our logo's red. His shirt's got some red on it. He's starting to match with this. So I'm gonna give over the mic. So why don't we pause here and let's go into our pipe bomb segment.
I throw the graphic up there. So, if you listen to the AEW marks on Twitter, this was the greatest thing ever. There were 2 million people in attendance. 8 generations from one family, I believe somebody said. I thought this was nothing more than a glorified Dynamite in a large venue. How dare you leave off Sammy Guevara? How dare you leave off Hobbs? How dare you leave off Wardlow? Ricky Starks? I mean, I could go on and on. You put all these guys, and no offense to any of them, because at the end of the day, that they work to get to this spot. But there's 4 or 5 people in that Stadium Stampede that you could have replaced with actual guys who are on TV every week and are stars. It just aggravated me to no end. They still cannot get their audio right. Their commentators are still tripping over their own words all the time. The Adam Cole versus MJF match was fantastic. The Young Bucks versus FTR was fantastic. So if I'm giving out stars, I give both of those, and I'm very critical when I do these. I give them both 4 stars, and that's a good rating for me. Samoa Joe and CM Punk was 3 stars. Everything else was 1 star as far as I'm concerned. The Stadium Stampede match was too much. They did way too much. It was too long. It wasn't even a true Stadium Stampede match. It got on my nerves. Why was there only 1 women's match on this card? You went out of your way to put guys who are not normally on the main show every week on this card. You left out. Here's the thing. Breathe in, breathe out. It's well known that I like AEW, but I'm not a huge AEW fan. I prefer WWE. But when you leave the 5 guys that I actually give a crap about, that most people actually give a crap about off the card, it makes you wonder. The venue was spectacular. The fact that they came out, here's the thing, the fact that they come out and said that there were 81,000 tickets sold makes me think there were only about 70,000 people that showed up. There was so much space, so many empty seats. There were people there at the card sending pictures. You couldn't tell it on TV, which means the TV crew did a great job of not showing how empty it was. But the upper levels were empty. I don't believe this 90,000 number as far as I could throw Mark Henry, which wouldn't be very far. A shout out to the GOAT. But every week they do stuff that aggravates me. Then in the press conference, Tony Khan said and did more things to aggravate me. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that's keeping me from making this a true pipe bomb. Because one day soon we will have AEW personnel on our show, and I don't want to have to be confronted about my words. Just to put it that way, because at the end of the day, they're trying to do their job. They're trying to do the best of their job, and if I don't like it, it just doesn't appeal to me. But at the end of the day, they did everything they could do to piss me off Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was. The only good thing about it was the end of it, the credits rolling, and the fact that I had to pay $49.99 for it when I could have spent my money on other promotions that night and didn't get to because that's all I had left at the end of the week, irked me. I'm just mad because to hear him go on like they put on that was not the greatest show in wrestling history. That was not there's actually 2 shows from New Japan that drew in over 150,000. So for them to, and then there's 2 in WWE that were reported that drew 91. I think Silverdome WrestleMania 3 was 91,000, and then the one in Dallas was 110,000. Don't know if those numbers are true. It is what it is. But the ones in New Japan were actually verified. There was a discrepancy between the amount there and the amount reported, but it was still way more than what they had there. To call it the biggest wrestling show of all time was an injustice. The fact that you held Blood and Guts because that's another thing, and I will not fault them for this. They set up for the biggest show of all time for their promotion. That's how they should have built it. This is the greatest show of all time for our promotion. And then you had guys hurt in the Blood and Guts match that you decided was smart enough to schedule 3 weeks before the pay-per-view, and those guys didn't get to show up. You had guys like Bryan Danielson that was hurt that couldn't show up. I truly anticipate that next year will be a better effort. It'll be a better card as long as everybody stays healthy. But I was not a fan of all the constant jabs to WWE. I'm never a fan of that because how many times do y'all hear WWE mention AEW during their programming or allude to them? You don't. Sami Zayn has said the word AEW on WWE television one time, and that's the only time that name has been uttered on television. Now, it's been mentioned on Stone Cold's podcast a couple of times with Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho being interviewed, but they don't worry about AEW. AEW should not worry about them. They should stop pushing the WWE stars and start pushing their stars, or what's going to happen here in 5 years when the WWE stars are too old to wrestle. All right, now the pipe bomb's coming back. Pumped up. when they're too old to wrestle, you're going to have a bunch of 115-pound soaking wet wrestlers, and those guys are not going to carry your company because you've waited 5 years to make them important. I don't know if MJF jumps or not. Whether he does or not, I'll still support him. But they've got to do a better job. There's still hope in my mind that they can turn it around for me. But All In was all fell as far as I'm concerned. Pipe bomb over.
All right, so Jeremy's opinion, obviously, and I wanted to let him have it. Now, I will say this: they did announce All In 2024 in London. They're going back next year, so we'll see what they do there. And look, as much as you want to say, I will personally say, of course, I'm biased because I work for the company. I do think there was a better wrestling show that aired that day. Overall, but that does not mean it was the most talked about and the most successful wrestling show, because there clearly was one better in that aspect. But so shout out, man, that they could do that, and I honestly hope that they do it again next year and get 80,000 people in there, or whatever the number is. If it's 80, if it's 70, if it's 90, whatever that number really is, regardless, they had thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Sure.
And they got a lot of buy rates too. So it's it's pretty awesome.
They only sold 150,000 pay-per-views. That's a horrible number for it. When you've got 80,000 in the arena and only 150. That's the figure I saw from one of the experts. Was between 150 and 100. That's not a very impressive number, especially when your show gets close to 1 million each week. And I know it's been a while since they've got up there, but I don't know, man. They may be just like an adjustment or what's the word I'm trying to think of? Well, we'll just stick with adjustment. They may be an adjustment away from getting things going the right way, but when they got CM Punk and they jumped up 100,000 viewers the next week, and then they didn't get back any higher than that, that was a fail to me, because they should have jumped way up with the addition of CM Punk. Switching over to him for a second, for me, Tony Khan, you've got to stop letting the inmates run the asylum. That's why all these things are happening. That's why the younger wrestlers have no respect. As much as CM Punk was in the wrong for things he's done in the past, the fact that Jack Perry felt comfortable enough to get in his face, allegedly.
I don't want to really because we wasn't there, so we don't know really
what were there that have reported it the right. I mean, Sean Ross Sapp, he is credible. I believe what the information he's got is true, and just the fact that a young wrestler like Jack Perry had the gumption, if you will, to get in his face, or to even do the spot outside where he's like, it's real glass, cry me a river. That's no respect. You have no respect for your colleague if you're doing something like that. That's not allegedly. We saw that on the I've got it downstairs on my TV. He said that. He taunted CM Punk. CM Punk was rightful to confront him. What was not right was him, once again, threatening to quit the company and running and taking his ball home. This dude has given you your own program. You have creative control on who appears on the show and who don't. At some point, the entitled, I deserve everything, CM Punk has to go away. And I worked hard and I've earned this, CM Punk has to show up. And I haven't seen him in AEW. I've seen a bunch of petulant, childish, pedantic. I'm just trying to go into as many big words as I can. Theatrics.
Gotcha.
I'm not a fan of that at all.
Well, again, it's the bottom line is, overall, regardless of what's happening behind the scenes, they're successful as far as what they did so far. We'll have to see what comes of it next year when they build up, and then we got All Out coming up. So what happens there? It's going to be interesting to see, especially if those rumors are true as far as what those allegedly things are and what the decisions they have to make.
Can I just add the production?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite a spectacle we saw, though. I mean, just having it at Wembley.
Fozzy playing the Fozzy. I did see the Fozzy entrance with Jared. That was awesome. Like how cool was that?
It was pretty cool. Like I said, the venue was amazing.
Yeah.
The production, they've always had good production.
My question is this: it's been teased at Money in the Bank, I think it was, right? Yeah, it was teased. It was asked or brought up by the one and only, um, one of the arguably greatest of all time, at least in this era, John Cena, said, "Why don't we bring WrestleMania here to the UK?" When does it happen? It's probably going to be a few more years, but when it happens, WrestleMania runs in Wembley Stadium, and it's going to be that stadium 2 nights. And the key would be they do 80,000 back to back in 2 nights. I say they do.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
without a doubt. My only thing is Vince, because we all know how Vince can be. Is he so butthurt that they were able to make their historic numbers at Wembley? Does he even bother going to London? Does he even bother going to Wembley? I mean, there's another stadium there that not as
Well,
nice, but there's another stadium that holds more than Wembley does, just right down the road. Does he get butthurt and say, "I'm not doing Wembley. You all allow"? Because he's done that here in the United States. He's told places, "If you run them, we're not running there anymore," and it's worked. Does he try to do the same thing with Wembley? I don't know.
well, he ain't run Wembley since 1993, so I mean, he
Right,
can't.
right.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there is other places, so it'd be interesting to see. I think it's going to happen. I think WWE's going back there. They're going to keep going there once for big PLEs, for the next couple of years until it's WrestleMania season when it's that time. Um, we don't know what 41 is going to be yet. It definitely is not going to be Wembley. We don't know what 41 is going to be. There's different rumors, and then 42 maybe like 43, 44 would be the year they do that. But then there's also by 44 it might be Nashville with the new stadium there. So there's a lot. There's a lot. Like that takes place there to see what happens. So it'll be interesting. I'm actually for it though. I'm all for it. Doing WrestleMania over there. Yes, it kind of hurts the indie market, but it would help the indie market there because some of those guys always travel over every year, and that will be a bigger scene for the UK, wrestling scene to be able to piggyback off of that, like they do here. So it'll be cool, for sure.
You just said all for it. Don't give them any more ideas for pay-per-view names, or we'll have all in, all out, and all for it 3 straight weeks.
Well, yeah. And also I just saw a meme saying I'm for all the things, all in, all out, all that, and I loved Nickelodeon's all that.
Oh,
So, and shout out to Keenan and Kel and Lori Beth Zimberg. Lori Beth, I forget her last name. Zimberg? I forget her
can't fully
name.
remember it.
Yeah, something like that. Lori Beth something. You know what I'm talking about, right? Amanda Bynes was in it
Mhm.
too. And all right, yeah. All right.
Welcome to Good Burger.
Yeah, welcome to Good Burger. Oh
Welcome to
man.
Good Burger. May I take your order?
Anyways, that took me down memory lane. And so at Impact's Emergence happened this past Sunday. Go back and watch it. You can order it on Fight if you're an Impact Plus subscriber or Impact Ultimate YouTube, Ultimate Insiders on YouTube subscriber. You can get it included in your subscriptions. Go check it out. We saw a few little things. We didn't see Johnny Swinger win. Unfortunately, he did not win the digital media title. Looks like it was kept by Kenny King, but there was some shenanigans that happened. But there's that. Your MK Ultra remain the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. However, we did see new champions take over as the Rascals. That's right, the Rascals defeated Subculture and became your new Impact World Tag Team Champions. Shout out to them. I mean, those guys should have had them years ago.
Yeah.
They didn't get them, but they went on. They kind of split up, did their own thing. We know, history. We know about the history there. Two of them are able to get back together. One of them is still killing it in NXT, and the other two is just Trey's been killing it at Impact, and now to have Zach back and them to be champions is pretty freaking cool. So shout out to to them as your new tag team champions. Trinity retain her knockouts world title against Deonna Purrazzo, and but that's where Jordan Grace announced she was coming back shortly after that. And then you had a crazy 8-man tag, which I was involved in, and Brian Myers. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, but I was able to come back in the match and see Moose get the victory over Josh Alexander. I think some other shenanigans happened in that match. I'm not sure, but when I go back and watch, I mean, there's nothing I can do. Referee's discretion, everything's done, or decision's final. I didn't see it because I was kind of out and I couldn't disqualify because I didn't know what happened, but I saw pictures of Brian Myers, so did what he did. And then last, you what else? There was another thing I missed out on, or something else that happened. Another match that happened that I missed. Yeah, I can't remember what that was, but anyways, so yes, that is. Oh, and then the Will Ospreay announcement. That's what it was. We'll say the Will Ospreay announcement, and then not to mention that Impact 1000 is going to happen at the same time as. Well, it's going to be taped the same time as Hard Reset, September 9th. But it's been announced that you not only have the Ultimate X going to be used, so you're going to have that match. We don't know what the competitors are or what it is, if it's for the X or if it's because that Kushida going to be probably, I guess, cashing in at Victory Road, and then we don't know if it's the X or for the X title. Not sure that, but the Ultimate X is back. Feast or Fired is coming back on Impact 1000. And it's been announced that Team 3D, ladies and gentlemen, Team 3D, Bully Ray and Testify, my brother Devon, is going to be tag team action against, we don't know who yet, against some opponents. And then that was announced. And then literally today, as we're recording this, it was announced that Awesome Kong is going to be in the ring and returns to the ring for some in-ring action. Also an Impact 1000. You also have the Beautiful People making an appearance, and just many more people to be announced, many more things. We recorded some stuff leading up, so I also know about some other things that have not aired on TV just yet. If you were live in Canada, in Toronto, maybe you kind of know what they are, but I'm not going to bring those up because it hasn't aired on TV yet or hasn't been announced officially. So I'm excited. Impact Victory Road, September 8th. Impact 1000, recorded on the 9th to air the following week. It is going to be two amazing shows. If you're in the New York area, White Plains, New York, I will highly recommend getting there. It's going to be worth the ticket price, and the venue that's going to happen in it's pretty like monumental when it comes to wrestling. So many wrestling shows. I mean, WWE runs house shows there all the time. It's done tremendous business there. So I would just highly recommend getting there to the Westchester County Center in White Plains, New York. It's going to be historic. So there you go. That's my pitch for all of that. So any thoughts on the Rascals, guys? We got to shout out the Rascals.
Oh, I mean, it's awesome. And I just got to say, I'm glad you're back in one piece, Daniel. And now you got to prepare yourself for a lot more coming at Impact, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't not to mention the Impact 1000. I forgot that this was announced too. Frankie Kazarian and Tracy Brooks versus Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards. So that's going to be pretty cool. See Tracy Brooks return back to the ring. So like it's a lot of people returning back. You're going to see, and then there's a fan celebration, so you get to be there if you want to get there early to meet your D'Lo Brown and Gail Kim and just yeah, man. It's.
What about people that want to meet Daniel Spencer? Are they going to get to see you?
I'll be there. Sure.
And then for those two people that want to see you, how do they schedule like a meetup or a?
If they really want to schedule something, they just I'm more likely going to be there. But hey, like be there to be available. I want to be there, but be there to be available. That's great from Refin. Oh man. I hope
I don't
Daniel
know
is
how
either.
these tweets keep going across the screen. We don't even have that capability yet.
I hope Daniel is in the feast or fired match and gets fired. I hope that's Dave Pinzer. I'm just playing. Love Dave Pinzer. But yeah, that's that's gonna be amazing. Feast or fired. I can't wait to see that.
That's
Like,
awesome. That's like one of my favorite gimmick matches. I would say Impact all time. It would be King of the Mountain was my top, but Feast or Fire was number 2. Ultimate X probably 3.
yeah. Well, I've been a part of Ultimate X. I've been a part of Queen of the Mountain, the first ever Queen of the Mountain, never King, but we did the Queen, which is similar. But I was involved in the first ever that one. And then what was one of the other ones that we did recently that was like a thing? I can't remember, but it'll be cool if I get,
Ball.
huh?
Were you thinking of Monsters Ball? Maybe.
Yeah, I did a Monstrous Ball, and it'd be pretty cool to be a part of a.
Speaking of balls, don't we have a sponsor to plug here? I'm just kidding.
No, we do. Manscaped.com. You know, speaking of balls, yeah, you clean your balls,
Or
get
make
them
them
nice.
smell good. I got the crop
'em-
reviver in hand.
Yes,
guys.
make them smell good. Look, she's ready to use it, so you just stand in line. um, get your manscaped.com. And then when you go to Manscaped, use promo code referee, you save 20% and free shipping. I'm telling you what, your ladies will be excited, gentlemen, when you show up with a nice trimmed pair of balls. That's all I'm going to say like that. Your balls will thank you. So will your lady. And they got the the lawnmower 4.0. Get that. It makes it's nice. It helps not get as many nicks and cuts. It's designed perfectly for that. So get yourself one of those. Also, they even come with a nose. It's called the Weed Whacker for the nose and ear trimmers. Those help keep everything clean in the face, and even the beard trimmer. I got one of those that the setting itself is so cool because literally, if you're watching the show, I just came back, so I have to shave for Impact, right? And I have a beard, and right before I shave, the one thing I hate is when my beard is I get it pretty trim, but then when I go to shave for so much, it takes a little longer because of the hair. I can take my beard and go all the way down to a 0.05 and trim it, and it's almost as if it's barely anything there. It gets it so close and so trimmed down. So then I'm able to shave it off in one shave, and it's amazing. But then throughout the other times when I'm not an Impact referee and I'm constantly, trimming it up and keeping it nice. The settings on there that I set it's perfect. It's pretty amazing on that beard trimmer. So. And there's a new product they just released, a close face shaver. Actually, you can get now too as well. So go to manscaped.com, use promo code referee, and you be clean shaven like a referee in your face and in the other area. Yeah, how about that? So, but balls, yeah, balls, yeah, balls. Remember the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view, yes. The graphic that was screenshot.
That's my trigger. That's the worst WWE pay-per-view event name of all time.
And then we're gonna bring it back. We even named it. We even named that episode "Great Balls of Fire."
Did, and we all just defecated all over the name in the pay-per-view. Actually, the main event wasn't too bad.
No, the pay-per-view was actually really good.
Wasn't it Brock versus Joe in the main event?
Was that who?
Brock versus Joe, Samoa Joe.
I can't remember, but all I remember is that the pay-per-view was actually really good because we gave it a high rating when we reviewed it. We didn't like the name, but they were going to bring
points off for the name. It could have been our highest rated pay-per-view of the season.
It was going to be an annual thing, if you remember, and then like a week afterwards, they said we're not bringing it back as the name. And I was like, oh, they announced it as it was an annual thing, and I guess they got so much. I don't know. Maybe it was just the fact that they had to pay probably a lot of money for that song because you couldn't do that. You couldn't do a pay-per-view called Great Balls of Fire without the
Jerry Lee
Lewis song, right? So, and those things do cost money to have that song airing throughout your stuff. So yeah, it's anyways, pretty awesome to say the least. Of all the things, including Manscaped. And speaking of all other sponsors and other things, Collar Nibble. I'm wearing the hoodie right now.
We
Oh,
didn't
look
even
at that.
plan it,
The
but
plan, look at that. We're
Quincy
like a
today,
mirror. We're like a mirror
yes.
image, right? And that's what this is. Go to ColinEmeraldBrand.com. Use promo code Ringside, all capital letters. You save 10% and you help the Ringside podcast out in the process. Just last week, I was chilling. I don't know if I shared this on the show last time or not. I can't remember. But just last week, I was in Philly at the New Japan show the night before the Multiverse show, and the real one walked by, and I had my collar and elbow hat, and he walks up and he says, "Love that hat, dope man. It's dope. That's my boy Rod. Love it. I love some collar and elbow." And I was like, "Yeah, man." He walked up to the other room, and I was like, "Hey, if it's good for the real one, it's good for me, and it should be good for you." So check out ColinEmeraldBrand.com. Use promo code Ringside, all capital letters. You save 10% again. And as you're doing that, you're helping this podcast. You're helping us be able to do these videos live. You're helping us, well, eventually live. You're able to be able to have this program to do this stuff and to take this show to the next level, all because of your support and keeping it free for you too as well. So when you do that, not only are you getting Wrestling Imperial, you're helping us, but then our shows stay free for you, and you don't have to worry about that. So no subscriptions and stuff like that, and we want to keep it that way. So thank you so much for all of your support. And by supporting our partners with Manscaped as well as Collar Nova Brand when you use our promo codes. And Linda, tell them about Pro Wrestling Insurance.
I'd be happy to. If you want to make sure you are covered if you get hurt anytime, anywhere, meaning you'd get a check made out to
You mean like if Brian Myers did an elbow drop from the top rope on top of you and you were like, oh no, and you might have a broken nose and a hurt back? Okay,
yes.
got it.
Make sure you are covered, whether you are a pro wrestler or not, because it is supplemental coverage for everybody. ProWrestlingInsurance.com. Make sure to go to the website and the socials. Chat with our great friend Chris. He'll fill you in more about how you can have affordable monthly coverage as low as $8 a month to make sure you are covered if you get hurt. Again, you would get a check written out to you to help you pay for any medical needs. So, ProWrestlingInsurance.com. Make sure to chat with Chris. Let him know we sent him to you.
That's right. That's right. And finally, I do want to give a shout out to our most recent sponsor. That is Cornbread Hemp. That's right. Some great CBD products. When you go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code Ringside there, you save 15% on all products there. They got some of the best products to have. Like I'm telling you what, I have to share this. Like I started using the gummies to help when sometimes I can't sleep, and sometimes I have some anxiety and focus, things like that. I'm telling you, it's been an amazing change as far as helping me sleep, helping me focus, helping with anxiety. It's no joke. These are great, and they're legal products, guys. CBD products that can change your life. So please check out Cornbread Hemp and go there and look at all the different stuff. They have different things that suit you. They even have some great muscle balm that helps for your soreness. Hey, right after I took that elbow drop from Brian Myers, I definitely used that on my lower back, and man, did I feel great the next day. So that is definitely something that that came in handy, and without that product, I don't know what I would have done. So thank you to them for that. And again, get yourself some great CBD products, legal products that can help you along the way. So go to cornbreadhelm.com, use promo code Ringside, save that 15%. And again, once again, you're helping the Ringside podcast out, but you're helping you have a great night's sleep, great help you with your anxiety, and just overall just good health. So check them out, and we appreciate their support as well. All right. So got thanks for, and by the way, put this out there. We really, really thank you for all. I mean, I said this, we said this before. We say this after every little promo we do and say, hey, support them. But we really do thank you for all of those who go out and support our partners and support our sponsors. And even if for some, like, as much as we do want you to use the promo codes, obviously 100%, but even if you don't and you still use them, we still thank you because they are great partners and great supporters. But yes, we do prefer to use our promo codes. But yeah, shout out to all of those guys out there for being with us and partnering with us, and go support them so you can support us at the same time. So again, thank you for those that already have, and thank you for those that will. So awesome.
Absolutely. And my favorite part about all the sponsors is when the direct deposit hits on Monday morning from all the promo codes that y'all use, and you bless our bank account. So that's my favorite part. And the products, obviously. I don't use Manscaped for my testicles like y'all talk about. I use the nose trimmer and the face shaver. I guess I need to go in and try to use that tonight. But very, very appreciative of all of our sponsors for helping us out, all jokes aside. And let's keep this thing going for another 6-7 years, forever.
That's right. That's right. All right. Um, I was going to say something. I completely forgot. So, it's guys. I do want to thank you so much for again supporting us on all our platforms. You can get us all on audio. We're on Spotify, of course, Apple Podcasts, Our Heart Radio, um, tune in radio app, or just go to straight up to ringsidepodcast.com. And the video version right now exclusively just on YouTube. Eventually it'll come to Facebook and it'll come to Twitch and some of the other places. But right now, exclusively on YouTube, youtube.com/at ringside podcast. Download, subscribe, subscribe, whatever you just subscribe to this podcast right here. Hit that button, and follow us on YouTube, and you'll get us when we air the new episode goes there. And then when we eventually go live, you'll get those notifications and you'll be able to watch it. The more you subscribe and the more you watch our product, it helps us out tremendously. I know it's wild. I'm one of those that have done this, and I know others do as well. I'll listen to a podcast, and then when I know there's a video version that they talk about stuff like they're showing pictures like we were doing or whatever, I'm like, oh man, I'll go back and rewatch it or
Uh-huh.
listen to it after I've done on the YouTube to like see how it was interacting and stuff like that, because it's just so much you can do. So those who watch us on or support us on both audio and video so far, we thank you and we appreciate that. And those that just do one or the other, we thank you and appreciate that too as well. So thank you so much. And I'm excited, and I can't wait for the guests to come. We have tweet teased. We are going to have Cody Deaner on the show. Right now, we've got penciled in for possibly next week. If it doesn't, that kind of to promote Victor Road, and he just came off a loss to that was one of the ones that I mentioned. He just came off a loss to Eric Young at in a no DQ match at Emergence, and I'm sure he'll talk a little bit about that, but. I'm sure he's got some plans leading up to Victory Road in the 1,000 episode. So hopefully we can have him on, discuss that with the next week. If not, we'll have him on the week after. He will be on in the next week or so. It's just a matter of scheduling and trying to work that out. So again, I'm looking forward to that. We also got another person that probably, if you watch that trailer of wrestlers to appear on Netflix on September 13th. You might have seen this person quite a few times in that trailer. And when she comes on the show, I'm excited for that. And like I said, I can't wait for that one.
I'm excited. I already know who you're talking about, and that's been my girl since day one. So let's get her on here quickly.
Yeah, and she could have came on it early as this week, but I think it's best to just wait. And we both agreed to let's wait till after September 13th. Whoa, easy for me to say, right? After September 13th, so we can talk about not only the show, but what we saw in the show as well. So that's where we're going to wait for that. But it's coming. It's coming soon. And then I also want to get a couple other people on from over the next couple weeks from the show wrestlers to kind of talk about that. So you'll be seeing a lot of that because hey, Linda, me, Linda, and Eric can only talk about so much on that show. We need other perspectives because there's a lot of things that as you watched last week's episode or listened to last week's episode, there's a lot of things that we know, a lot of things we don't know that was filmed because we wasn't there behind closed doors a lot. We wasn't at certain shows. Like we we all had schedules and stuff we had to work around. I mean, there was been times I was at Impact when other shows were going on and they were filming stuff. So I would hear about stuff, but I wasn't there to see it. So but other people were there, so we want to hear everyone's perspectives absolutely for that and get all that out there. And then of course I can't wait to see it. We're gonna promote it to our Blue in the Face Netflix September 13th. Wrestlers premieres on that. I don't want to air the video again because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but if you go to youtube.com, Netflix, you'll see the trailer. Look for Wrestlers, type it in, or just go to our socials. It's on there. ovwrestling.com. It's on there as well.
Search it on the actual Netflix app. I mean, we're up there and on the list.
Yeah, you go to pull up the Netflix app, type in Wrestlers, it'll pop up. You can watch the trailer there. Actually follow it. That way when it pops up, it'll be in your watch list ready to go for you. Looks like 7 episodes officially. I think we talked about last time. 7 episodes. I think they're rumored to be minimum of 45 minutes a piece, some longer than the others. So that's exciting. And then fingers crossed that this is not just a one-off. This turns into another season after this. So the more support you do for that show, you wrestling fans, the more it helps, us get a season 2. And then who knows? There's rumors about some things they want to do for season 2 if they happen. So I'm excited for that. And that we can kind of tease, but we probably won't be able to talk about because we couldn't talk about this show for literally 14 months. So it's pretty exciting that we can now on that. There's a lot of news out there that we can kind of touch on real quick before we wrap up. If you want, I mean, we're not going to talk about the rumors. We kind of hinted at that when so-and-so had his pipe bomb, but
so-and-so, how dare you?
When Jeremy had his pipe bomb.
So-and-so, you're so-and-so. You know what? I hope you get feast and fired too. I'm with that caller earlier.
Feast and fired. Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot of different news out there when it comes to stuff. It's cool that Jerry the King Lawler made a appearance during commercial break in Memphis at Monday Night Raw. So that's good knowing he's in pretty good health to be able to do that. So shout out to the King on that. I thought it was interesting that the Jacksonville Jaguars legacy title belt was removed on WWEshop.com, but apparently they're according to Fanatics. What is it called? Fanatic. Whatever. I don't know. According to them, they just sold out all the pre-sales. So it's not that it was removed because it's Jacksonville Jaguars. But those belts look pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen those legacy title belts. Those are pretty cool.
I'm working on getting something. See if I can do this real quick. Because as soon as I saw it, I was absolutely just it was awesome. Let's see, where's the downloads at? Go ahead and keep talking, Daniel. I'll
okay.
If I can get to it, if I can find it there. See, can I bring it on here? Can we do it? I've never done this before, so I don't know if it's.
You trying to share a screen?
No. I'm trying to add this source. Share a video file from your computer. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Slaps.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
So very, very petty of WWE to put out the and I'll go ahead and put it back up there for a second. But that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you call WWE.com, I did to confirm. They said it was legitimately sold out. It's just weird that the weakest team in the league was sold out, and so many of the other ones weren't. It had notifications on there saying almost out, close to sold out for a lot of them. But there were also a lot of teams that are very popular that didn't have any quantifiers underneath them. So it is what it is. when I woke up yesterday morning and the first thing on my Facebook timeline was the Jacksonville Jaguars title, I was like, WWE woke up today and they chose Petty as the action of the day. I loved it.
It's a nice title. Maybe it just sold out quick. It's like that nice of a championship belt. I'll say belt.
Yeah, championship belt title. If you say you can say belt. You get yelled at. What's funny is that's one of our pals at OVW, Doug Basham. He's still got that Vinceism. Is it he makes his belt? He goes, no, I don't know what a belt is. Belt holds your pants up. It's a title. He constantly says that, which I think it's funny. But you know, it is what it is on that. Yeah, man. So I thought there was like some other wrestling news out there, but I don't. I'm not seeing anything that is. I see a lot of rumors and discussions. So we don't. This show is a news, and we give our news and opinions. We never say we promote. We talk about rumors. So we're not going to do that. But although we do.
I was gonna say I do. I don't know what this wee stuff is. I will say this. Those titles, they're $5.99 a piece, I believe.
Okay.
I've got championship titles that I purchased from WWE.com in the past that look way better. They kind of look a little generic to me, and I'm a harsh critic on some things, but I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not buying the Steelers title. It looks like a bunch of plastic pieces taped onto
I don't know. To me, they don't look generic at all. They look pretty amazing. So I don't know where you get that at. I mean, like
I get that from the fact that I bought $500 titles from WWE before, and they were all fantastic.
But that's the thing. Like you're looking at a picture. Like I gotta see the person. The only thing that would
be different in person, but they kind of look like I'm looking at this title, and it looks like that you could buy that at Kmart.
The only thing that I dislike about for example, my Colts title is that I know the Colts title or the logo is blue, right?
Yeah.
But you could have done the background is white with the Colts. Like I would have rather them do the blue, still have the blue, but like do a white outline, or
sure.
maybe like it's a, I don't know, like a blue with that. So it would, to me, that would have looked cooler. Because if I look at, like, for example, I go to other ones, like the Bengals is their logo is orange with a little black, but they have the orange behind the B. I would have loved to have the same blue behind the logo, the Colt logo. It's the same. The Jets did the same thing. Like you just outline it in white, and I think that's would be the only reason why I wouldn't buy the Colts Legacy title. But the size of the Colts title, because of the logo, is like bigger compared to some of the other ones. But like the Titans are like that. There's a few of them that have like a bigger, just because of the way the logo is. I mean, I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers logo and I hate the Steelers, but dude, that looks like a freaking amazing. That's a beautiful title.
I didn't like it, but I think my expectations were more, because just here for an example, they released some MLB ones last week. Here's one of the options. Can you see it? Nope, no, too bright. The New York Yankees, they've two iterations of that, and they were both like spectacular. I don't know why it's not showing up, but the MLB ones are leaps and bounds better than the NFL ones, and they're about $200 cheaper. So maybe I'm just picky. I didn't care for the Steelers one. I didn't care.
So MLB was on the website too. I'm actually. I'm looking here. I look at the Yankees. The one thing I will say that I'm looking at the Yankees one. I love that they made it the shape of like the home plate.
That was dope. That's the way the Red Sox one is too, which is my team.
Right.
I would buy the Red Sox one. I'm not buying the Steelers one.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. They can't do that for football, so they had to come up with a different design. Now, do they do the NBA next? Is that the next? Is that the next thing?
Probably. But these MLB ones have been available for about 2 months now. Yeah. They weren't advertised like the NFL.
Now the college teams. They did SEC ones, but those are literally just the side plates, right, on the WB.
Yeah, they did the SEC side plates. They didn't do SEC titles.
Yeah, I did see I did see the MLB had like mini titles that I thought looked cool, looked great. The mini versions of the titles,
Yeah.
um, which those look a little different too as well. But I mean, I like again. I'm not a. I think the NFL. I think there's some that are not as pretty as the others, and I think that's just because of the logo. But I really like the um, the MLB as well as now the baseball. Like the Red Sox actually doesn't look like it's. I'm looking at that. It doesn't look like a. It doesn't look like the Yankees with the
They
home
had a
plate.
version that had the whole.
But the Boston Red Sox looks really good.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It does. Yeah, they had a
Um,
different version of it when they all came out that was similar to the Yankees one. It was amazing. I had just bought the World Heavyweight Championship belt that now I got an email today, even though I've already canceled my order, that those are being uh, delayed until December the 1st for delivery. So thank God I went to Detroit. I'd have lost my mind probably with WWE Shop if I'd have found out that it was delayed any longer. But
yeah.
top notch stuff. I wish we had promo codes for them that we could give out.
Yeah. I'm looking here at the MLB. They have the Red Sox, the Yankees, and all the other belts are the minis. Like all the other teams, like my Cubs is a mini title one. They don't have a
What about the
full.
Brewers? Is it the NB, the glove and the ball logo, or
I don't even see a Brewers at all for
They
that. The
probably
only Brewers I see is their shirt, which is like Yankees 316, Braves 3, and the Brewers 316 with their logo,
hmm.
Brewers, and it says 316. That's the only thing I see Brewers that are Brewers related. Cubs have I don't even see a Cubs. It's almost like well, except for Yankees and Red Sox, but it's almost like if they gave you a belt, either a small or mini, they didn't give you the shirt. So I guess they just maybe they're testing things out. Maybe they eventually will make them available for everything. But it's weird that the NFL though. Well, I mean NFL is king in sports, but it's weird the NFL got every team, every one of the teams there 30 was it 32 teams 31 teams every one of them got a full blown title belt and they're the same MLBs are 549 as well as those they're 549 so they're the same price for the
not
full
on
title.
mine. The ones I just looked at said that the MLB ones were $412. Maybe I
Maybe
got
there's
a promo code in there that I don't know about, but
yeah there might be a promo code. I think there's a promo code going on actually now I'm thinking about it. I think there's a sale going on but yeah they like I said, if I'm looking at them, I know we're sidebarring all this, but if I'm looking, and of course, guys, I'm not, I have the share screen capabilities right now. It's on Jeremy's end, but I would scroll. I'll let you see while I'm scrolling through. But literally, right now, there's like half of them are really cool and pretty to look at, and the other half are not. So it just depends on your team. Like I said, I don't really. The Colts ones are beautiful, other than the middle. I wish that middle was blue and that would be, I mean, I could probably, you can always get it probably painted or whatever, right? So, um, but, but I do like, all these, I'm trying to look, maybe they don't have all the teams. Now I'm looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't think,
oh, here we go. Can y'all see that now?
Yeah, thanks.
yeah.
Not a problem. So let's go NFL.
Yeah, they have all 31 teams. Okay. Yeah, there they are. So if you're scrolling through on there, I mean, you can see some of these are pretty. Like I think the Steelers is pretty in my opinion. I even think the Lions is pretty because of the gray behind the thing.
I like the 49ers and Cowboys one look pretty
I do
sweet.
too. I even like the Raiders. Um, I actually like the Kansas City Chiefs there.
The Bills,
I
the
like that.
Dolphins,
The
they did a
Bills,
really good job with them. I'm not saying they didn't do a good job with them.
the Bills look great. Patriots, I'm not. I hate to pay anything Patriots, so I can't even say that looks good. See the Colts. If you look, I mean, look at the right there. No, I'm sorry. I would go back to that. Go back where you see the other belts with it. I was going to show the. If you look at the Seahawks, how it's the same blue with their logo. They could have done the same thing with the Colts. Because if you go down and look at the Titans or even the Jets, they did that. You know what I'm saying? The Bengals right there as my example. The orange and the orange logo, they just had the white outline. You could easily have done that with the Colts,
I
the
see.
white outline. That it would have been to me, it would have been more pretty, and I probably would have legit tried to buy it. That's that's my. But anyways, that's just my thing on it. So, um,
Oddly enough, there is still only one of them on there that you cannot get, and it is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
oh yeah, yeah. So
There was some
32
on there
teams.
that said sold out even. So I don't know what the. I mean, you got to think that WWE wouldn't like. I understand them not wanting to put if that's their decision not to put them on there. I get it. That's direct competition, but you make a little money off of them. Who cares?
Well, I mean, maybe that's because it's not on the website because, like you're saying, it's not a they sold out so quickly. But I mean, I would think if you pre-order, maybe I guess in their mind they've made say 500 of each one or something, and they sold out. But then, what if, like, um, what if, you can just still make them pre and like okay 500 gets them in 2 weeks 3 weeks whatever, but then the other 500 or 1,000 whoever orders, you're on back order, you'll get yours when they come in, you pay for them now, you'll get them in 6 weeks or whatever it may be. So yeah, it is what it is on that. I'll do look, somebody's carrying their title on that. I do want to
Go ahead.
we need to get the ringside nameplates or side plates.
So you say that.
Yeah.
I just paid the substantial amount of money. I've got a guy, and if these work out, then we'll start promoting them because I think he'll do good business for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I paid him a substantial amount of money. He's making me ringside podcast side plates for my World Heavyweight Championship. He's making CSZ ones. He's making ones with my personal logo on them, and one with the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on them. So we'll see how if they turn out well, then that's definitely something that I'd be interested in hitting him up and trying to work something out. Because if you love wrestling and you love championship belts like I do, that's definitely something that you'd want to pay for. And all the work I found on his Facebook page was top notch. So I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to anyway. We'll see. But I've got they are in the works. They have been paid for. They are signed, sealed, but not yet delivered.
All right. All right. Well, hopefully they come soon. Guys, I think we've been going a little bit. It's a little longer than we expected. I actually thought this was going to be a show under an hour, and we're a little over an hour here. So, again, we'll thank you for all of our sponsors. Go support our sponsors. Thank you for all of our listeners and supporting us all on the podcast avenues. You can get us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or just go to ringsidepodcast.com. Find us there. And you can get us all on the YouTube for the video format, youtube.com/@ringside podcast. Subscribe to us on all platforms. By the way, leave us a 5-star review. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, we will read it on the air. We haven't done that in a long time. It's been a few years. I look back. We haven't had somebody list us a review in a while. And they listen. We know they do. They just haven't listened to reviews. So leave us a review. It helps us actually with Apple Podcasts and the analytics and all that stuff. So please definitely do that. And again, subscribe to us on YouTube. That helps us tremendously so we can start doing more things on YouTube and all that stuff. You can get us all on social media. We're available on the Twitter, X, whatever, the Instagram, the Threads, the Facebook, and yeah, I guess again I'll throw this out there: YouTube as well as Twitch at Ringside Podcast, TikTok at the Ringside Podcast. So it's a little different than our other handles. Individually on Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Daniel Spencer.
I'm at Jeremy_CSC.
You can find me at lovelylindak.com or at Twitter X at LK22 or on Instagram at LindaKPWR.
Yes. Follow us. We appreciate that. And, but we prefer you. Yeah, we want you to follow us individually, but we definitely prefer you to follow us on the, or follow the Ringside Podcast on socials there. We're trying to get more active on social media. So trying to do more things, trying to post more pictures, more thoughts, more polls more opinions, more thoughts. If you have an idea of who you want to come on the show, like, hey guys, you say, I mean, WWE superstars were limited on who we can get, and they tell us who they're giving us when we have those on special bonus episodes in the past. But if you have someone at OVW, at AEW, at Impact, at just an indie wrestler, people like that you want on the show, or somebody that's, you know, they don't have to be a wrestler. They could be a manager, referee. They could be a creative person, whoever it may be. You have someone like that you would like for us to interview and try, you know, shoot us a DM or tweet us or whatever. And email us ringsidepodcast@gmail.com. Email us there and ask the questions, or make the statement who you want, and we'll do our best to try to get them as well. We brought back we brought back not planned. We brought back the segment pipe bomb. Maybe we'll bring back some other segments again as we get things moving along that we missed. But one of the things I do like us to do is you know, some of you have requested in the past us doing topic episodes again, and that is something we'll do as we do these live shows. We'll do topics like, you know, best interest themes and best, you know, some of these that me, Jeremy, and JK did before Eric came along. Some me, Jeremy, and Eric did, and some I don't think we've ever done any of these with Linda. Maybe we have, I can't remember. But having all four of us, or having Linda's perspective on now who the best interest team is who the best tag team is. I mean, some of these might change, so we'll bring back some of those topics again, and maybe we can do a review type show or something. Again, like we review an old pay per view or an old TV or something like that. And it would be cool to kind of do a watch along. I mean, I don't know when or what that watch along would be yet, but some people's requested us to watch something and we react and we talk about it. So we'll see. Maybe an OVW watch along makes more sense. Maybe we can do an OVW watch along on a show. And if it's one of those shows that both me, Eric, it needs to be a show where Jeremy's in the crowd, I'm reffing, Eric and Linda are doing either ring announcing and backstage interviewing. Then you know, we can rewatch it back and talk about it and give you the insights of what happened when it was going on and all that. That'd be pretty fun. I like that idea. I don't know, somebody pitched that and I thought it was cool. So what do you guys think?
We know now that we can share the video, so
yeah, we can show video, and then it's just and I think we got to be careful what we share. That's all on video. So cool, guys. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it, guys. Do you have any last things you want to say in regards to anything?
I mean, just so much going on in the world of wrestling, and again, just happy to be a fan and happy to be living this moment.
It's a sad time in wrestling right now, but it's a wonderful time in wrestling right now. So everybody hop on, enjoy the ride, buckle your seatbelt. It's going to be a good time. Wrestlers premieres on Netflix September the 13th. I've talked to people who are like, man, I can't wait for that to come out. I'm like, yeah, I'll have it done 6 hours after it starts, because that's how excited I am for it. Because I know a lot of the people, I think the reason it means the most to me is because a lot of the people that are featured on it, that I know of anyway, are people we had in the Ringside Podcast studios here in my basement when we first started this podcast. And just to see the behind, I mean, we got to see some behind the scenes stuff when they came over, but to see more of it, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what they've been battling with. I want to see what they've overcome, see what they've accomplished. Mm-hmm. I'm psyched for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Me as well. I'm excited for it as well. So, yes, guys, I thank you all again. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the next episode. Hopefully, as of right now, the plan is Cody Deaner next week. If not, it'll be the following week. But we may still give you a guest next week if we can't get Cody worked out schedule wise, and then we'll get somebody else. And I kind of have somebody else as a backup plan. But I don't want to. We'll make that announcement when it happens. Oh, by the way, also in the next couple of weeks, in September, I will be a special guest host for about 3 or 4 weeks, as Jimmy Cordeas is going to be on vacation. I will be teaming up with Brian Hebner on Reffing It Up, and be doing the Reffing It Up with him. So it'll be cool. So be sure to check out Reffing It Up. You can get it on the podcast avenues as well. but it'd be cool. It's the first time. It'd be different. I mean, I've never we'll be talking about different topics. One of them I know is going to be like a Paul Heyman episode, and one of them's going to be on I believe on Rhino, and then the other episode we talked about doing Jesse Goddard's. We're just trying to work that out. And we would have Jesse on the show as well, and hopefully Rhino. We won't be able to get Paul, but hopefully Rhino when that episode airs. So it'll be pretty cool to do those episodes. So so be on the lookout for that. And I'm excited. That's going to be pretty fun. And we'll, our schedule might be a little weird because when he tapes or how we tape is kind of similar, but we'll make it work. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. So thanks again, guys. As always, we love you and appreciate you. And in the meantime, in between time,
you can catch us ringside. Yeah.
see ya.